Video discussion of a website application analysis for language learning and teaching. Duolingo. Master in Applied Linguistics and English Language Teaching. Technology Enhanced Language Learning and Teaching, Universidad de Guanajuato. My name is Liliana Lisset Llanas, and in this video, I shall evaluate a website application called Duolingo. But what is Duolingo? Duolingo is an application to learn new vocabulary words, to read, listen, write, and speak languages such as English, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Italian, Dutch, Irish, in a few words, more than 20 languages. But why Duolingo? Let's see some opinions about this application. The best language learning application, according to the Wall Street Journal. This free application and website is among the most effective language learning methods I've tried. Lessons come in the form of brief challenges, speaking, translating, answering multiple choice questions that keep me coming back for more. This is the opinion of the New York Times. Let's describe this selected material. Duolingo is among the most popular applications for learning languages, and it is for free. Duolingo is a website for learning languages and is a competition for other websites such as FluentU, Live Mocha, and Rosetta Stone. This application is available for a number of devices such as Android, iPad, iPhone, tablet, and Windows. All what you need is Wi-Fi, and with any of these devices you can connect immediately to start learning a language. But let's review and talk about the interface of Duolingo. First of all, Duolingo has a goal, which is an implied goal. This goal is to learn a language. For instance, if we can see in this picture, Duolingo claims to have millions of students of English, French, Portuguese, German, Italian, and even Catalan. Also, Duolingo has levels. Levels which give students a sense of progression. Students can see their statistics and even count how many words they have learned in a month, in a week, or even in a day. And in that way, they can see their average and the percentage of increase they have had within this time. Duolingo also has aesthetics. It is simple, it has bright colors, and its images convey meaning in a very easy way. The colors are very appealing and attractive for students, and the layout is user-friendly. Duolingo also has a rewards structure. Students can measure their advancement with bonuses. Students can measure their advancement and see if they have completed a lesson, and also accumulate hard bonuses within a week. There is also competition. This competition is optional. Students can compete one to another, quantify the number of words they have learned in a period of time, go from one level to another, and also reinforce learning units. According to its creators, there is a curve of interest suggested by new levels equals to new skills, and also new skills equals to new fun in Duolingo system. At this point of the video, let's go through the evaluation of the effectiveness of this website called Duolingo. For this purpose, a set of questions was elaborated to evaluate the effectiveness of this online application used to enhance language learning teaching. This evaluation is focused in 4 dimensions such as implementation, interface, learning tasks, and pedagogical foundations. First of all, let's start with the first dimension of this evaluation questionnaire, which is implementation. The first question is, how can learners, teachers access the application? TOEFL 2014 defines open educational resources as teaching learning material that reside in the public domain and have been released under an open license that permits access, use, etc. She also underlines the relevance of material classified as OER is its availability to provide learners, teachers with free educational resources to enrich learning, teaching. In addition, Hubbard 2011 explains that the decision of using a website to enhance language learning generally relies on the costs and benefits of its implementation. Now, question 2. What suggests that the application can be integrated in the syllabus to enhance language learning? In matters of evaluating websites to enhance language learning, Hubbard 2011 emphasizes that the decision of using them as part of a course or not should be based on the quality and degree of teacher fit and learner fit. For Hubbard 2011, teacher fit and learner fit considerations combine to produce judgments of appropriateness of a piece of courseware for a given setting. For instance, Hemmert and Cushion 2001 proposed to evaluate a multimedia language learning teaching tool by asking the following questions. Are available functions appropriate for the tasks to be carried? Are the navigational commands clear enough? Are the links easy to use? Is there feedback on actions taken? Is the feedback for given tasks appropriate? Therefore, it might be inferred that by answering those questions, learner-teacher might decide if the material fits in the course to foster language learning. Moreover, the answers of the proposed questions should be revised after clarifying the intended place this called tool might have in a course or in the student's learning process. Question number 3. What evidenced the multimedia impact of the website application? When evaluating the impact of a teaching learning web application, Hammer and Cushion 2001 suggests to examine the answers of the following questions. Does it correspond to your idea of what a multimedia interface looks like? Is the multimedia presentation appropriate and useful? Does it provide additional information stimulating the interaction and the learning process? Hubbard 2011 explains that the website's presentational schemes observe a number of subcategories, for example, the screen layout or interface. This screen layout is concerned with all the aspects of the basic appearance on a screen, such as fonts, color, schemes, controls, as well as presence, placement and quality of video, audio, and graphics. Finally, the fourth question would be, what specific skills are needed by teachers, students to use the application? In matters of the required skills to operate software web-based applications designed for language learning teaching, Izquierdo et al., 2017, explained that the lack of knowledge on how to operate school equipment, software, or web-based applications also hinders teachers' use of available technologies. For instance, Hubbard 2011 enlists some technical considerations that should be revised in case of material resources, courseware, or other applications and websites. According to Hubbard 2011, in a perfect scenario, the instructor learners should be able of using any applications that is part of the courseware. Moreover, Hubbard 2011 appoints the instructor as responsible for assuring students' training to appropriately use such applications. Now, let's go to the second dimension of this evaluation questionnaire, which is interface design. Question number 1. How do students interact through the material? It's relevant to select a friendly user called Peace to assure success to learners in structure, in order to evaluate the interaction between learners and the selected application. Hammer and Cushion 2001 proposed to analyze the answers to the following questions to evaluate the interaction between learners and the application. Is it easy to use? Do you know what to do? Are instructions explicit enough? Do you understand the structure of the design environment? Can you navigate through it without getting disoriented? Can you access the program easily? Do you have control over the interaction or not? Is the interaction meaningful? In addition, Chappell 2001 suggests to examine if learners and teachers had a positive experience with technology through the use of the core material under scrutiny. Question number 2. How attractive is the interface and how does it foster language learning? In a study carried out by Hammer and Cushion 2001, interface was designed on the assumption that students would appreciate and be attracted by the dual combination of directional and navigational interaction. For instance, the Los Arcos 2009 argues that learners must be stimulated to learn. Question number 3. What evidence suggests a sense of progression for the learners when using the tasks provided by the software web-based application? Control options belongs to the list of presentational schemes subcategories taxonomy suggested by Hubbard 2011. Control options describes what is underneath learner against program control and also the physical nature of those controls. For instance, does the student have the ability to go to any desired lesson listed in a menu, or does the program require the learner to complete a lesson before moving to another in a pre-established order? According to Hammer and Cushion 2001, there is a need to revise if when using the application, students can attempt interactive exercises in any particular predetermined sequence and progress at their own pace. Finally, question number 4. What evidence suggests the functionality of the software web-based application? In order to find evidence of the functionality of the code piece under scrutiny, Hammer and Cushion 2001 recommend to observe the existence of appropriate available functions to carry out the tasks proposed in the application. They also suggest to revise if the navigational commands are clear enough and if the links are easy to use. Furthermore, Hammer and Cushion also propose to verify the existence of appropriate feedback for given tasks. Functionality of code material might be also linked to the input received by the user of the application. In these presentational schemes, Hubbard 2011 lists a subcategory called User Input. This user input pays attention to how the learner responds to implicit or explicit prompts from the program, speaking, typing, clicking a button, or hotspot, etc. He also mentions another subcategory called Input Judging, which refers to the program's procedure for handling the user input. It involves actions such as recording a mouse click, various types of pattern matching, speech analysis, or linguistic parsing. Then, this is the turn of the feedback, which can be either implicit when an incorrect answer simply disappears as a choice when it is selected, or explicit. Now, let's go to the third dimension of this evaluation questionnaire, which is second language learning tasks. Question number 1. What evidence suggests that the targeted linguistic forms provided by the material are at an appropriate level of difficulty for learners? According to Hammer and Cushion 2001, it is important to consider in the evaluation of web-based language learning applications if learning objectives proposed by the task are clear for students. In addition, Chappell 2001 suggests that tasks should be reviewed in regards to their pertinence considering students' level. Question number 2. What evidence suggests that the tasks are appropriate to the varied learner's individual characteristics? For example, age, learning style, computer experience. Chappell 2001 asserts that an important element to evaluate the material is to verify the pertinence of its tasks in regards to learners' individual characteristics such as age and learning style. Hubbard 2011 also highlights that students' interests and preferred learning styles should be satisfied by the tasks provided by the language learning application. Question number 3. How to assure that tasks promote learning teaching? Chappell 2001 suggests to question the evidence that informs that learners' construction of linguistic meaning fosters language learning in called tasks. For instance, Izquierdo claims that multimedia integrates oral and written texts, static or motion graphics, pictures, and video. Therefore, learning occurs when people construct knowledge during their interaction with different media during online instructional presentations, interactive lessons, e-courses, simulation games, virtual reality, and computer-supported in-class presentations. In language education, different sorts of media can be combined in comprehension and production tasks to help learners develop the target linguistic system as they process meaning. Finally, question number 4. How are tasks assessed? It seems important to revise the manner in which the called tasks provided by the application are assessed. Chappell 2001 claims that the most conclusive way to prove the language learning potential of a call activity is through the study of learning outcomes. For example, if learners were to have acquired a specific grammatical form or vocabulary through a called task, then results of an assessment after learners have completed such task can provide some evidence for the language learning potential of the task. In agreement, Hubbard 2011 states that the evaluating learners' outcomes is also a manner to evaluating the degree in which the website has been effective in meeting learning objectives. In fact, he explains that it is rarely probable to dimension the factual effect of a particular piece of software or website on students' gains in proficiency. Nevertheless, he finds instructive to look for evidence of a positive correlation between the use of the website and aspects associated to second language learning. Now, let's go to the fourth and final dimension of this evaluation questionnaire, which is second language acquisition pedagogical foundations. Question number 1. How can it be explained the compatibility of this application to second language learning pedagogies? Tunnel 2014 explains the relevance of analyzing open educational resources compatibility to the second language learning pedagogies to be used to enhance learning. In agreement, Hubbard 2011 underlines that the material should fit teachers' expectations in regard to the language teaching approach needed to support students' advance. Question number 2. What pedagogies on second language learning are expected from this website? According to Chappell 2001, in a study examining the acquisition of vocabulary in cold materials, researchers attempted to recognize factors connected to acquisition of particular lexical items. As a result, researchers identified particular words that informed on learners' significant lexical gains. Specifically, the website under evaluation, Duolingo, shows a coursework mainly based on lexical approach and grammar translation. Tasks use target language and mother tongue, focusing on meaning. For instance, research shows that instruction delivered through multimedia applications and tasks enhances lexical and comprehension development as stated by Izquierdo in 2014. Question number 3. What functions do the target language input, output, and interaction perform in the task to promote acquisition? Chappell 2001 identifies the functions that the target language input perform in the call task to promote acquisition as giving instructions and providing comprehensible input. He also distinguishes that features such as syntactic and morphological forms are linguistic characteristics of input to learner. In matters of interaction, some functions that the target language perform in the task to promote acquisition are negotiation of meaning, response to question, and signaling. And the functions that the target language output perform in the task are asking questions and displaying knowledge. Multimedia contexts facilitate the provision of meaningful input, foster interaction, and provide opportunities to elicit output in the second language, as stated by Yanguas in 2009. Finally, the fourth question is, what evidence a language learning experience while using the applications? Chappell 2001 asserts that when learners talk about the target language, it indicates that learner is focusing on language in a way that may be beneficial for acquisition. There is also the support of research to prove it. Tunnel 2014 highlights that there have been consistent efforts to incorporate new technologies into teaching in ways that are both pedagogically effective and meaningful to learners. Then, evaluating software and website applications teacher-learners choices should be informed. In addition, the use of such code pieces should have defined purpose. Now, let's go to the strengths of Duolingo. First, it is for free. It is an open educational resource. It is a friendly user application. It has a visually attractive interface. It offers a number of languages. It is an effective learning game. And it provides immediate feedback. Now, let's talk about the weaknesses of Duolingo. First, time. There are no time constraints of activities. Students can spend as much time as they want in a sole activity. 2. There is no conflict or collaboration to learn. Students don't really interact one to the other. If players give a wrong answer, the correct one is immediately shown. Then you can replay until you get it right the next time. That doesn't mean that you are learning. Feedback. Sometimes hints are given. Then, might you be learning or guessing? And finally, in my opinion, there should be narrative in Duolingo. There is no narrative or storytelling included. For instance, there could be a part in which students could write about a trip that they might do to the places where the language they are learning is spoken. Conclusions. The main reason why I selected to evaluate this program is because it is very popular among people of different ages and it is for free. After evaluating this website throughout the 4 dimensions of implementation, interface, learning tasks, and pedagogical foundations, it may be said that Duolingo may be easily included as part of a syllabus or used by students to learn in autonomy. However, considerations of the objectives to fulfill with this implementation in the course should be taken. For instance, narrative. The inclusion of new technologies at everyday activities does justify its use for educational purposes. However, its normalization in regular courses and its presence in syllabus is not a parallel, and it should be changed soon. Thank you very much.